What's going on, guys? This is Dane coming at you with another cast. This time we've got a game between Marsbar, a friend of mine and a subscriber, and TookiTooki. This is a very strange game already because Marsbar is playing Protoss, which he normally is a very cheesy Zerg player. And it looks like TookiTooki is a random player who has told his race. He's correctly told his race. He hasn't lied about it, which is good to see. So Marsbar is sending out a very, very early probe. I'm very interested in seeing what Marsbar comes up with when he plays Protoss, because he's the kind of Zerg who'll do a one base Nidus swarm host all into you in a tournament and get you kicked down to the losers bracket. It looks like this probe early on is just sent there to block the hatchery. I know when I'm off racing, I like to do all the things to the other races that personally annoy me greatly. But he's also sent out another probe and he's walled the top of his ramp with a forge. So it looks like we will be seeing a cannon rush in this game. Marsbar just gradually picking away at this drone, and he actually ends up getting the kill. And now that this pylon block has finished, he's in a position to start cannon rushing him. So he's made it look like this is just a pylon block, which is a pretty normal thing to do on this map, but then he's transitioning into the full-on cannon rush, and now the drones have to be pulled. But I mean, it's already going to be difficult to get surface area on this, and the Zerg isn't correctly distributing these drones, so he's only got 2 attacking this cannon. So this cannon's definitely going to go down, but this one's going to get up. And Marsbar is just putting up more cannons, and now he's going to eventually just wall these in. So the reaction from TookiTooki, not ideal. He's still on 0 gases, and he's only got 7 drones mining. But he has taken this third base at this close by air position over here, which is his sort of way out of this. If he can get this up, maybe he can make something happen on Marsbar's side of the map. And now the cannon's up, and it's shooting away at all of these drones, and the other cannons are coming up, and Marsbar's dropped this gateway. Now he's transitioning to attacking the high ground. So Marsbar knows how to do this, probably just by having it had done to him so many times, and he's managed to successfully cannon rush, and he's taking this high ground. So now his goal is going to be to get these cannons up over here and start rallying stalkers, or maybe perhaps immortals. So TookiTooki, realizing that he's going to need something other than Zerglings in this game, so he's taken a single gas and a single spine crawler to try and maintain control of the high ground here. And nothing's really happening at his expansion base. He's not really using it. He's down to 9 workers to Marsbar's 18. For some reason I thought 21. Maybe he lost some. To his 18, and now Marsbar's taken his double gas. So not a great situation for TookiTooki, but he is optimistic. He's burying the spine crawler. He's burying the spine crawler. And he's trying to poke away at this. Meanwhile, the Zealot's being rallied up, and it's going to aggro onto these Zerglings. The Zerglings do surround, but he's kiting back. Nice micro from Marsbar, gradually taking away these Zerglings, and the Zealot actually survives. Meanwhile, the Spinecrawler is picking away at this single pylon. There's not really enough surface area for Marsbar to get a lot of cannons up here. Meanwhile, the Zerglings coming from the natural, and they all get just absolutely slaughtered by the cannon wall here. So TookiTooki does have this overlord over Marsbar's natural, so he realizes that he is stuck on one base for the most part. I mean, he doesn't know for sure. He could have a proxy somewhere. But this Zealot now being used to attack this base, because he saw the Zerglings come in. He knows he must have a base somewhere else. Finds it with the Zealot. The Zealot starts even picking away at the drones who are mining here. So now TookiTooki's only on one base with one guy mining gas, one drone mining gas, and he's decided to drop a Roach Warren, but he's only on 10 drones, and the Zerglings that he's made at his natural do end up cleaning up this Zergling. So now Marsbar's putting up lots of shield batteries, and he's going to be making a Stalker and probably an Immortal coming out of this robotics facility. Not the most polished cannon rush I've ever seen, but it's definitely been good enough for this game. It's definitely been enough to put TookiTooki on the back foot and have to start thinking hard about what he's going to do. But TookiTooki not really feeling like he needs a whole lot of gas. Still only mining 1 from gas. Maybe he feels like the minerals are more important. He's making a fair amount of lings, still with no Zergling speed on the way. So he is making 2 roaches That's all he can afford right now with the gas that he's got. Meanwhile, Marsbar's got loads of gas, if only he could share. But the Zerglings walk right into his main base because there's no full wall and there's no cannons. So Marsbar's going to have to figure out a way to defend these. They're gradually picking away. Only 4 or 5 of the Zerglings are fighting at once. Nice micro from Marsbar to surround those Lings. He's mineral pathing them down to the bottom. And now that he's fully surrounded the Lings, he's decided to attack, move them. And he does take massive damage. He does go down to 13 workers. So that means that TookiTooki killed 11 of his workers with that. Marsbar realizing now, okay, now it's time to wall off. But despite this happening, it still doesn't put Tookie in that great of a position. He's still got 2 less workers than Marsbar. He's still only got 1 gas, and he's still only got 1 roach. So not a great position to be in for TookiTooki, especially as he's not really mining from this base yet. But these are all roaches, and they are on the way to Marsbar's base. So as long as Marsbar knows about this, he could drop a couple of cannons. He does drop 1 cannon to full wall off this, and he's making more drones now. He's making more probes. Meanwhile, TookiTooki deciding, nah, that's all right. I've got enough drones. I don't need any more. I only need 1 on gas. I'm on a 0.5 economy. Maybe you could call it like a 0.75 economy. Of 1 base, I should say. This Overlord's still just chilling at Marsbar's base. He's like, hey, man, you still on 1 base? Yep, cool, all right. I'm going to send some roaches up your ramp now to their death. So he's only got 1 cannon here, which I actually think this many roaches might be able to kill it if they just focused it down right away, and that's what they're doing. So especially with a little bit of micro here, he could have saved this roach, but no, I guess he does die. The cannon does die before the roaches get there, so now Marsbar is in some real trouble. He only has, let's see, he's got an Immortal in a Warp Prism that is picking away at this base, and the Zerglings are surrounding it, but he's got nothing at home to defend these roaches. However, TookiTooki does decide, instead of going right for the minerals, he's going to just kill his cybernetics core. Now he realizes, okay, it's time for me to do something about this. I might as well finish off this cybernetics core so that he can't build anything else. But it's not a great position for him either, because he still at some point has to deal with all of this, and I don't think he just has the money to deal with it at this point. He's on 9 workers, 10 total, 1 on gas. And this Immortal being picked up by the Warp Prism, so Marsbar trying to show us the power of his Warp Prism micro skills. He's all but given up on this base here, back at home, has Marsbar. And we have this small little group of Lings that aren't really pulling their weight. I don't think we're going to see Zergling speed at all this entire game. I'll be quite honest with you. The Queen does try to attack the Warp Prism. No, it doesn't even try. So these Immortals are just worth their weight in gold right now. The Zerglings don't quite have the speed, and as soon as they do surround the Immortal, the Warp Prism just picks it up and leaves. This is a tactic that you'll see experienced cannon rushers do from time to time. Abuse the power of shield batteries and Immortals. If you never break the Immortal's barrier, it's a very, very strong ability where it barely takes any damage, so it's really, really nice. So these Zerglings have basically all been killed now. They still haven't killed an Immortal yet. I don't think he's killed a unit. He's killed 27 units, but those I think have all been probes. I don't think he's killed an actual army unit yet. So I mean, yes, he's completely killed Marsbar's economy, but he's got 2 Immortals, and he doesn't really have a plan of how he's going to deal with these. I mean, I think he needs to be making queens. He needs to be getting speed. They are getting surrounded, but the more Marsbar kills, the harder it is going to be for TookiTooki to get that critical mass of units he needs to break this. He is just gradually cleaning up. I don't think he knows about these 2 random probes, but Marsbar doesn't have enough minerals to remake his base anyway, so at this point, it is Marsbar's base against TookiTooki's base. TookiTooki is still mining, so the longer this goes on, the better it becomes for TookiTooki. But he's not quite able to get the surround on these Immortals, and they're still alive. They're living up to their name. Look at this one, 16 kills on one, and how many kills? 15 kills on the other, and those have probably almost all been Zerglings. So TookiTooki's continuing to make Zerglings. He's getting Burrow, which I'm not entirely sure what the logic of the Burrow is in this situation, where there's all that's on the map is a Robo and a bunch of cannons. But you never know, maybe he thinks he can get his value out of that. Some nice pull micro from Marsbar, saving those Immortals, lifting them up into the Warp Prism, and he still hasn't lost one yet. Meanwhile, the Immortals, or the Roaches, are just rallied back in from his base, and I think they're all going to die before they actually get to the main, so a little bit of unfortunate move commanding there from TookiTooki. He does manage to save 1 roach and 2 queens. He's down to 7 workers, which is infinitely more than Marsbar has mining right now. These immortals are now focus firing. They're in for the kill. They know that there's not much left for TookiTooki. He has to shut down this base. They're going to gradually kite back. The queens are now going to attack the war prison finally, but the Zerglings coming in from the natural, sorry, not the natural, the third base are still, again, just going to be rallied and killed. Because they're just stupid Zerglings. They're not doing what they need to be doing, and he's gonna tap out. He's gonna call it GG. So well played for Marsbar there, getting that cannon rush to happen. And I just want to say congratulations to TookiTooki for GGing out of that game. I think that would have been a very frustrating game, and it's nice that he kept his composure and set a good example for us. So good luck on you, TookiTooki. Must have been a frustrating game, but you tapped out like a man. So well done. And well done to Marsbar for winning a game as Protoss. It's I guess it's nice to see what your style would look like if you played Protoss. So GG's, and see you guys in the next one.